We'll film you tasting the wine.
No, Maddie is next.
It's your finger. Oh, okay. I mean, for me, yeah, because I've known what I wanted to do since I was like 8, and like career-wise, so I kind of am excited to see whether I accomplish it or not. I think I will. I'm not sure though.
And what is that?
I want to be a filmmaker one day, and I was just writing like my English paper about like how like I became, or found out I wanted to be one, but I wanted to do it like forever. So yeah, I'm excited to see if I can do that. And also, the world, yeah, because there's so many changes in like gay marriage is legal, and there are things like that. And I think that over time, since the technology is so recent, that I think communication will soon build back up. Because since it's so recent, people are so excited and drawn to it. But I think over a period of time, people will get used to it, so they'll improve their communication.
Whoa! All right. Wow.
All right.
What?
Good, that lady there. Really good. She's a tough act to follow.
Well, I'm optimistic because I have the pleasure of hanging out with young people like Maddie and Naomi and the millennials coming up, and I think they're creative and open and accepting in ways that the generations before them have not been. And so I think that they will come together and work together better across, men, women, ethnicities, religions, because they don't see, they see purple. They're much more open. So I'm optimistic, both for now and the future and the planet, because I think they'll figure it out.
You do.
I do. Because they will think differently than the generations before them.
Wow. That's very nice to hear. And you?
Well,
I'm sorry, but there's a giant wine glass in the way. We have to move this one. Thank you.
no, that's
You don't
just
have
my
to speak
makeup.
about your for the recording. I'm really curious.
I think that I know that I think like an optimist, but I live like a pessimist. And some of that is, first of all, the cluttering of silverware behind me. Some of that is, in part my training to think about all the things that can go wrong and to prepare for them. And that's kind of how I live in some ways too, thinking about, what if this bank goes out of business? What if these stocks don't fly? How will I take care of myself 20 and maybe 30 years from now if I'm lucky enough to still be alive? But I have to say, my thoughts are very optimistic, and some of it is part of what's already been said here. I think the changes that I've seen in the 50 years I've been on the planet are, well, it's a little minor, are amazing. The changes I've seen professionally, personally, socially are incredible. It's almost like we're racing to asymptote with some of these changes, so that makes me very optimistic. When I'm sitting in a restaurant and I see families that don't talk to each other and they're on cell phones instead and stuff, I do think back to our family dinners, and sometimes I say thank God, but most of the time.
Some of our family dinners.
What family dinner?
Family dinners. No, but I think I agree with some of what Maddie said, and then I'm seeing people already starting to think differently about how to reach out to each other, maybe across nations as well as across the table. So I'm very optimistic thought-wise.
Closing this door. No one seems to understand. I need to keep closing the door. So I'm very pessimistic about all that.
Oh, wait a minute. So now, after this, I have another question.
Uh-oh.
Can we eat? No, you can eat while you're answering the question. If there's food in front of you.
Well, I have really a very short statement, and that is, I'm flabbergasted that you all are optimistic, because I am the exact opposite. I think that human beings are basically selfish, and we see that all the time. And although for myself, I'm optimistic and life is good and my kids are good and I'm happy and blah, 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 blah. I really think that humanity is just another building block to make peat moss. I think that humanity is doomed. I think that it's much too selfish. I think we see evidence of that all the time. And I don't think it'll be around a whole lot longer because we're slowly destroying the biosphere. It's just a matter of time until we wreck it all. So that's really what I think.
That was very brave of you.
So we start screaming, Soylent Green is people.
Really good.
So it's up to them.
Well, I'm glad we didn't come to a vote here at the table, otherwise it might be serious. I marvel to see what Ben's community is like, because it's an incredibly diverse and international and interethnic and intercultural. And in that way, I find it intriguing. But from the standpoint of the studies that I do with plants and the studies that I read, it's very disturbing to see. I very much I feel the same way that Jessica does. It was just this morning we pulled up to go to Ari's soccer game and watched two parents with their children in a stroller, and they're both on their phones, and it's the child who stands up in the stroller going, they're coming too close, and their parents were totally oblivious. And I see it all the time. It's very, very disturbing to me, especially having been an early childhood educator and feeling that those moments are precious that parents have with their children, and going out to dinner and seeing people who are on dates that are just, they're glued to their cell phones. So in that regard, I'm very disappointed in what's happening to humanity. And then from the perspective of what's happening with the species in our planet, and how many species are disappearing so rapidly, and most people don't care. They just don't care. What difference if there's another frog on this planet? The frog is an indicator of what's going to happen to humanity. And I've just done an in-depth study of mushrooms and the connection that humans and the animal kingdom and the mushrooms came from the same biological composition over 600 million years ago. And that what's happening to our humanity and what's happening to our habitat is one and the same thing, that mushrooms will probably be the salvation of us if we're willing to recognize